let's go to some of the tactics that Israel is using. Now, we reported on the show earlier that they were using white phosphorus. Now, apparently, CNN has confirmed it for itself. Now, we got it from other sources earlier, from The Guardian and from other sources. Now, CNN says, yes, they have that information as well. Now, they explain both sides of it, and I think it's a terrific report. And this is a kind of a funny thing to say, but I'm actually proud of CNN for running it. So let's watch it.
Is Israel firing white phosphorus into Gaza? Human Rights Watch says yes, and is backed up by munitions experts. And this, say Palestinian doctors, is the result. Dr. Nefis Abu Shaban says he's been treating burns for 27 years, but says he's never seen anything like these. He says most of the severe burn patients have been sent to Egypt. But because of the fighting, this man, Adil, can't get out.
He was brought to us last night with severe burns on the back, the face, both lower limbs. It's about 47% total burn surface area. This resulted from some sort of bombs. It might be the bombs which contain phosphorus, as we said before, because his burns are not usual burns. It's severe, it's very deep burns with strange shapes.
White phosphorus is known to burn flesh down to the bone. It's designed to provide illumination or a smokescreen in battle. Under an international protocol ratified by Israel in 1995, such incendiary weapons are allowed when, quote, not specifically designed to cause burn injury to persons.
There's not a per se prohibition against using white phosphorus in conflict, but there are significant restrictions as to when it's used and how it's to be used. For instance, it is illegal to use white phosphorus against any personnel, not only civilians, but even legal combatants. So it cannot be directed at personnel. So you're limited to having it directed at military targets.
International law says incendiary weapons cannot be used where there is a concentration of civilians, and Gaza is one of the most densely populated places on Earth. This house north of Gaza City was hit by something Sunday. It's been burning since 1 o'clock in the morning, Munir Hamada tells our cameraman around noon. If you move it with your feet, it reignites. You can't put it out with water. This matches the properties of white phosphorus, which ignites on contact with air. Last week, an Israeli official told CNN, I can tell you with certainty that white phosphorus is absolutely not being used. Now Israeli officials have this response to questions on its use.
Any munition that Israel is using is with accordance to the international law. Israel does not specify the types of munition nor types of operations that it's conducting.
The precise extent to which Israel has used white phosphorus in Gaza is unclear, but the use of such a controversial weapon in the crowded and confined conditions of Gaza is bound to raise questions Israel is, for now, hesitant to answer.
That's Ben Wedeman for reporting for CNN from Jerusalem. And that was a hell of a report. It was courageous. It's only courageous because we're so unused to it in America. Now, the rest of the world sees those reports all the time because it's true. They are using white phosphorus, and it does burn down to the skin. And you saw it for yourself there if you were watching on the website with the burn victims. Now, they got it peripherally, and it was pretty bad burn. If you got a direct contact, it would have literally burned down to your bones and probably killed you. And that's why you're not allowed to use it, not only just with civilians, as they explain, but against any people. Even if you're fighting them, you're not allowed to use it because it can be considered a kind of a chemical weapon that burns your skin off. Now, they say that they use it for illumination. I feel like there's got to be a better way to illuminate the sky than throwing up a chemical that burns your skin off. They also say that they use it for a smoke screen. Well, is it illumination or is it a smoke screen? I don't get that, right? But let's say, give them the benefit of the doubt and say that's true, and some military folks will say that it is in fact true. All right, give me a better smoke screen. I don't know, the things that we fire into crowds here in America that create a lot of smoke without burning everybody's skin off. It seems gratuitously violent. It seems to strike terror into the hearts of the civilian populations. I thought that's kind of what terrorism was. I thought we invaded Iraq because they had chemical weapons or biological weapons, and it turns out they didn't, right? This white phosphorus, it should be banned entirely. There's got to be a better way to do this, and we can't have it. You can't drop this into heavily populated areas and have it burn the skin off of people. And they, you know, they got the human rights groups saying it, they got the doctors saying it, they got the scientists saying it. It has the same components as the white phosphorus. The little part that you missed in that video is said you couldn't put it out with water, you'd have to put it out with sand. And you could tell because Israel changed its response. They went from, oh, we unequivocally do not use white phosphorus, to, well, we reserve the right to use any kind of weapons we like, and we can't really tell you what weapons we're using, but I guarantee you that it's under international law. Yeah, I know. That's what the Bush administration said, too. Okay, I don't believe that for a second. It's not believable. If they weren't using white phosphorus, they would have stuck with the line of, we're not using it. So obviously they are, given all the evidence that we have there. And honestly, it's despicable.